Good morning, good afternoon, good evening or good night, whatever the time is where you're watching this. We are Allianz Benelux, more in particular the data office, which is a business unit within our organization. Allianz is the largest insurer in the world, and as Benelux we are a truly cross-border operational entity, covering the 3 countries, Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg. Our business is focused on retail, SME and mid-corp, both in the P&C and life lines of business. We sell insurances primarily in a broker-mediated market. We will present you what we do with Graph. I'm Jan Doelen, Head of Expertise and Team Lead for Customer Insights and Intelligence and Management Information and Insights.
Hi everyone, I'm Arati Kumar, Lead Data Scientist and Epic Lead for Customer and Broker Insights and Intelligence.
Pleased to meet. My name is Niels Holtrop and I am the Data Scientist and Epic Lead for the Fraud Intelligence team. And together with our Fraud Business Unit, we aim to incorporate advanced analytics and machine learning algorithms into the fight against fraud.
At Allianz Benelux, we strongly believe in Graph, as it allows us to look at data from a connected data perspective. Instead of looking at data as individual pieces of information, we want to understand how all those pieces are linked to each other. And there are 2 areas that already greatly benefit from this ultimate view. One is customer intelligence, where we created a truly 360-degree view of our customers, with as target to understand what our customers really need. The other one is fraud intelligence. As you might imagine, fraud represents a considerable slice of our costs, and that negatively impacts the largest portion of our customers who play according to the book.
In insurance, the problem of fraud is a big one. Estimates indicate that around 5 to 10% of claim costs that are paid out for fraudulent reasons. This entails both professional fraudsters as well as regular consumers who are exaggerating their claims. The usage of Graph technology within insurance mainly focuses on the more professional frauds, which involve staged or exaggerated claims. These kinds of claims are mainly found through the social links that arise within a claim, with people that know each other in one way or another. The processes to detect these kinds of relationships in the past used to consist of many manual steps, causing the process to be highly time-consuming. To prove a case, the entire network has to be drawn out to see who is related to whom and exactly in which way. With a graph, the network can be generated using the click of a button, and hence a lot of time can be saved by generating the initial overview of the parties.
Customer data is a goldmine for any organization. Without Graph, we would have used Customer Golden Record as against a Customer Golden Profile. Traditional relational database was providing a fact record that was difficult for human consumption to understand a customer. It was increasingly becoming difficult for our sales and marketing teams to use this as we added more dimensions to the data. One of the key use cases is cross and upsell opportunity. Based on a McKinsey study, cross and upsell opportunities for insurance companies can result in at least 10 to 20% boost in sales. We would definitely not want to miss that.
We have been looking at a few providers of Graph databases. In the end, most of them deliver Graph on top of a traditional database. There are only a few who make a native Graph, and Neo4j is one of them. So we have played around a bit with different ones, talked to the people behind the companies to understand how much they are really willing to support us in a far-reaching implementation, and then we choose the one that we thought suited us best. To be fair, we have multiple data scientists with PhDs in Graph, so we knew the market and what each of the different tools, what or is worth.
With the Graph database, we are now able to see relationships in claims the way that normal human beings would see them, instead of in a database view. If a link exists, we can get an instant visual confirmation of the relation between the different parties. Compare this to the traditional way of trying to remember or recognize that the same name is present in two different claims. We realize that the amount of time is vastly reduced to find the new social networks within a claim.
Being able to view the customers as a graph with all the data points helps the business teams in faster understanding and thereby faster decision making. A household view of the customers resulted in better understanding of the customer, their dear ones, and their needs. We do not want to sell what we have to our customers, but sell right insurance protections for their needs.
The best part about using Neo4j is that once the initial database is set up, there are many ways to interact with the graph. Either using the recommended grant stack, but also using open source libraries and software like R and Python. This actually allows for a large flexibility to do experimentations and to quickly see if something works or not.
To add to what Niels mentioned, Neo4j provides better performance when it comes to querying deeply connected data that has many relationships expressed with complex joins and an easy-to-learn query language cipher.
For fraud, the next step will be to investigate what the Graph Data Science library can bring us. Network analytics will be a top priority, but this will come with its own challenges in terms of information leakage, given the chronological order of the data present in a claim. Here, we will assess together with Neo4j what our options are and where they can support us in developing new features for the graph.
Frankly, we think that Graph has a bright future. Relational databases have been around simply because the compute was not there to look at data from a connected perspective. Oversimplifying, it works like our brain, and we only use an estimate 10% of our brain, so imagine we could use the full 100%. One of our friends recently even obtained a PhD on Graph data warehouses, so there's a legion of possibilities to explore and exploit. And we believe that using Graph is a key differentiator on the market.